So let's take this idea of smart and think about it in the larger context of technology, the tech industry. How important is smart to the tech industry?
Well, being lucky is always most important, right?
Luck,
so, yes.
luck. Is there such thing as luck, Reed?
Almost certainly, right? But it's necessary but not sufficient, right? So one of the reasons why people get confused about this is because they think that when you look at people who have accomplished great things, there's always ability, intelligence, drive, self-sacrifice, investment in the future. These sorts of things are very common characteristics. And they go, well, those are all essential, and they are essential characteristics. But there is also essential being at that place at that time, right,
Okay.
in order to make that happen. And so, there's this old adage, which is it's better to be lucky than smart. And if you had to pick, right, you'd rather pick luck. But actually, in fact, to really accomplish things, you need both, right? So it's a combination of, and for example, let's take it in the world of business investments. Part of being lucky is, well, what do your competitors end up doing, right? So if you invest in something that then becomes what 10 direct competitors all go into,
Right.
You may still win, but it's much harder. Whereas if there aren't any other direct competitors there, then it's actually much easier.
But some would say that isn't luck so much as your own intelligence for nailing the opportunity that nobody else saw.
So what you do is you make a set of likely guesses, and frequently, of course, with drive and some good guesses and everything else, you can make stuff work. But there's I think that all things that get to a massive scale, I don't think you could have necessarily known that at the beginning, because there's enough different gates and unknowns. When, like, for example, you start a company in a very early stage, there's enough different things that may or may not play out. Like, did you hire the right people? What did the competitors do? Did the customers of your product really want it at massive scale as opposed to partial scale? These are all things you're making best possible guesses on, and you're trying to maneuver to. And part of intelligence is that knowing that you need to maneuver. So, for example, I think one part of intelligence is, the Andy Grove line, only the paranoid survive.
Yes.
Well, that paranoia is actually one part of the intelligence, because it's like the theory and practice. It's okay, I think I've got a good plan here. I think I've got a good thing, but is it right? Is it right? Is it right? Right. Let me keep learning and moderating correctly. That's another thing. Like, for example, in Silicon Valley, we talk about failing fast. And it isn't to fail, it's to succeed. But identifying the failure points early is what allows you to eventually correct to a success path.